Here with Washington State women's basketball head coach Kamie Ethridge. Coach, your team hits the road once again for another Pac-12 conference road trip. This time you head out to the desert to take on Arizona State on Friday and Arizona on Sunday. How's the team preparing for this weekend trip?
Yeah, it's another adventure in the land of the Pac. One weekend you feel like you're world beaters and you're on top of the world, and the next you don't know if you'll win a game again. So, disappointed that we didn't pull off and get a win this last weekend. Obviously, have some things that we really have to work on. We feel like we're going to see a lot of pressure in this next two games as well, like we saw against USC and UCLA. We have to handle that better, and we have to handle, we have to be better on the offensive end. I really was happy with how we played defensively for the most part. So big weekend, going on the road again, have to manage that well, but excited to I guess, hit the Arizona State schools now.
You talk about managing the road and having success on the road. It's something that this team hasn't been unfamiliar to. They're 6-1 on the road so far this season, having a really, really strong current stretch right now. They've won 4 straight games on the road. It's the longest road winning streak since the 95-96 season. Just what's been accredited to this team's success on the road, and just how have they been able to overcome some of these harsh environments and tough environments and pull out wins?
Well, I think it really speaks to just the makeup of our team. We're a little bit older and more experienced, and I'm a big believer in putting our players in those positions in the non-conference season. We took ourselves on the road and had to play in some tough environments, and challenged ourselves there, and with the hopes that it would make us a better road team as we went down the season through the season. So. Feel like we're experienced now. We've played a lot of different styles. We're figuring out, we're getting healthy. We're getting more full strength that we really haven't been since, I don't know, just since before Christmas or before the New Year. So, excited to finally get our full team back and hope that we can start really gaining some momentum and improving in some ways and being more consistent in some areas on the court.
And speaking of getting your team healthier and getting players back, Jessica Clark's been one of those players that was hit with the injury bug at the very beginning of the season. Didn't play in any non-conference games, got her back right at the start of the Pac-12 season. And here over the 2 of her last 3 games, she's really contributed great. She scored 15 points against Oregon and then had 11 here recently against UCLA. So what's been the attribute to her success, and just kind of how big is that for you guys moving forward with the team, having that post presence back and having more depth in the post that you didn't have earlier this season?
Well, again, I'm really happy to get Jess back on the floor. She offensively, she brings a package that is a little unique than Bella does, and certainly that a little bit unique to what Emma brings, and just depth in that position, more versatility, more defensive bodies to throw at people, more fouls if you need to do that, be able to guard people really aggressively and not worry about fouls. I think some of the hard part for Jessica is it's not just the injury and getting in shape and getting back on the court, but you literally have to put yourself in a million reps to know the plays well and to respond the way you need to in game situations. And that doesn't come easy. That doesn't come with just a couple of practices. So I just feel like she's getting her groove a little bit and hitting stride. And again, I think her best days are ahead of her, and that's a good sign for our program.
First game on this road trip, you're going to head down to Tempe to take on Arizona State this Friday. The Sun Devils are looking for their first conference win here. They've had a little bit of misfortune off the court where they had to forfeit a couple of games in conference a couple of weeks ago. So they are healthier now. They're getting a full slate, full team that you're going to face down in Tempe. So how are you preparing for Arizona State?
Yeah, dangerous team, hungry team, desperate team that wants a win, and they're playing at home. I wouldn't say we had our best performance this past weekend, so Again, I think the thing that everyone in our league will tell you from top to bottom, this league is brutal. Anyone can beat anyone on a given night. We're just sitting there with 3 wins and 5 losses. So every game is crucial in where we want to go as a basketball team. Arizona State is getting our full attention. Again, real different team than they were last year, different personnel. We're going to have to be really good at what we want to do on both ends of the court, but have a lot of respect for that program and the tradition of winning like they do and have been, and as a program over the years. And it's a real prideful program they're gonna throw a lot of punches, and we're just gonna have to go on the road with our very best effort.
And last weekend, you were playing both those games without leading scorers Charlie Sledger Walker. The team fought resiliently in both games, just came up a bit short against very tough USC and UCLA teams. For the players that were there and the players that played in the game, how big is last weekend for them in the terms of their growth, their development for when she does come back, knowing that maybe not as much pressure, not as much emphasis will be on her because they've got the confidence that they can do it with or without her?
Yeah, I mean, I really do think that's a big thing for us. I mean, even when you add in AT, who got hurt in pregame warmup against UW, and kind of came back and played a couple of minutes against Oregon, but hasn't severe ankle and has needed a little bit of time to get over that, and so she's gotten stunted a couple of times where she's getting minutes and then an injury, and Jess has gotten stunted with some injury, and you go through a little bit of that with everybody on the team not feeling 100% all the time. But I think it's crucial that we're getting these people, getting close to 100%. They have a lot of game experience. They've had a lot of success in those games, AT in particular, like, what she did against UCLA, our leading scorer, how she handled that. And again, not having great practices or a ton of practices, for 2.5 weeks or so. So, it gives us a lot of hope as a coaching staff. I think the team feels a lot of confidence in the versatility on our team and the depth of our team, and knowing that our bench is playing better. People are coming off the bench and putting, defending and scoring. I mean, again, this is what we hope, is that our team is really still getting better, and that we have a chance to be a deeper, stronger, a team that will have more and more weapons as we go through the season. We need that. We can't depend on just one player. We can't depend on just one or two. We really got to have balance across our scoring. And again, and keeping that in mind, not playing people too many minutes, and making sure that we're still fresh, as we go into February and we hope March.
All right, Coach. Well, that's all the time we have for today. We appreciate you coming in and answering some questions. We'll talk to you after the Arizona State game on Friday. Until then, go Cougs.
Thanks. Go Cougs.